Let me ask you something. Have you noticed that the more you explain yourself, the less seriously people seem to take you? The more you try to be understood, the more people interrupt you, question you, test you. But the moment you become calm, firm, and brief, people adjust. Machiavelli understood this long before social media, therapy culture, or motivational quotes. And what he understood about power and respect is something most people learn too late. Most people believe respect comes from being good, from being kind, from being helpful, from being reasonable. So they explain their intentions. They justify their decisions. They soften their boundaries. And then they're confused when people cross those boundaries anyway. Machiavelli would say this quietly: people don't follow goodness. They follow stability. Power, to Machiavelli, was never about cruelty. It was about control, specifically control over how others respond to you. He noticed something uncomfortable. When people sense uncertainty in you, they test you. Not always consciously, not always maliciously, but instinctively. Uncertainty invites pressure. Clarity shuts it down. Think about this. Have you ever said no and immediately followed it with an explanation? I can't do this because I hope you understand. I just feel like... And suddenly, your decision became negotiable. They pushed back. They argued. They tried to change your mind, not because your reason was wrong, but because your certainty was weak. Machiavelli observed that people rarely challenge authority. They challenge hesitation. The moment you explain too much, you reveal doubt, and doubt invites negotiation. Now pause here. Think about the people in your life who are rarely questioned. They don't talk much. They don't justify every move. They don't over-explain their choices. Yet people respect their time, their decisions, their boundaries. Why? Because power doesn't announce itself. It shows. Machiavelli understood something else most people miss. People don't respect those who are always available. They respect those who are selective. Availability feels generous, but unlimited access feels cheap. When you're always reachable, always flexible, always accommodating, people stop valuing your presence. Not because you're not valuable, but because you made yourself predictable. Power needs distance, not emotional distance, strategic distance. Distance creates weight. Scarcity creates importance. Now here's where people misunderstand Machiavelli. They think he promoted fear over love because he hated love. That's not true. He understood that love is emotional, and emotions fluctuate. Fear, on the other hand, is rooted in consequence. Not terror, not abuse. Consequence. Ask yourself this honestly. When did people start respecting your boundaries? When you explained your feelings again and again, or when you finally enforced consequences? Exactly. Respect isn't built through pleading. It's built through consistency. Machiavelli noticed something subtle. People respect rules, not because they agree with them, but because they know they won't be bent. The same applies to you. If your boundaries are flexible, people will test their flexibility. If your standards change based on who's asking, people will keep asking. Now let's talk about strength. Strength doesn't mean aggression. It doesn't mean dominance. It means self-control. A person who can stay calm while saying, no is far more powerful than someone who says yes out of fear. Machiavelli believed people mirror what they sense. If they sense desperation, they respond with control. If they sense certainty, they respond with caution. Think back. When did people treat you better? When you were trying to be liked? Or when you stopped needing approval? That's not coincidence. Here's another uncomfortable truth. People don't reward effort. They reward results. They don't see your sacrifices. They see your position. This is why Machiavelli emphasized appearance. Not because truth doesn't matter, but because perception shapes reaction. You can be right and still be dismissed. You can be kind and still be disrespected. Because people respond to how you show up, not what you mean inside. This is where many good people struggle. They believe explaining themselves will make others understand, but understanding does not equal respect. Sometimes explanation lowers your value because it signals insecurity. Machiavelli would tell you this: say less, decide faster, stand still, let people adjust to you, not the other way around. Now, this doesn't mean becoming cold. It means becoming grounded. There's a difference. Cold people react with ego. Grounded people respond with calm authority. Notice how powerful people speak. They don't rush. They don't overshare. They don't chase agreement. Their silence carries weight because it isn't empty. Machiavelli understood that silence forces others to reveal themselves. When you stop explaining, people fill the gap. They show their intentions, their impatience, their respect or lack of it. Silence removes masks. Here's something most people won't admit. The moment you stop chasing validation, people become curious. When you stop proving yourself, people start paying attention. Because confidence doesn't ask, it assumes. Machiavelli believed the most dangerous position is being underestimated. And the fastest way to be underestimated is to appear unsure of your own worth. Power doesn't come from being harsh. It comes from being unmovable, not stubborn, clear. Now look around. Who gets interrupted the least? Who gets questioned the least? Who is rarely disrespected openly? Not the loudest person, not the nicest, the most certain. Machiavelli wasn't teaching people how to dominate others. He was teaching them how not to be dominated. And that begins when you stop explaining your value. Because people don't respect explanations. They respect decisions. They respect boundaries. They respect consequences. Once you understand this, you stop arguing. You stop over-talking. You stop shrinking your standards. And something interesting happens. People adjust. Not everyone will like you, but more people will respect you. And Machiavelli would say this: respect lasts longer than approval. If this made you uncomfortable, that's normal. Truth usually is. Tell me in the comments, what part of this hit you the hardest? Because understanding power isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. And that changes everything.